Or should we wait for more people?
No, wait.
No,
Wait
not
for 10
waiting.
minutes.
We're waiting. Okay.
Yeah, so let's start. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Thanks for joining us at Tech Talk Tuesday. So, this is India. So, I'll actually start. So, this is kind of like we started a bunch of kind of like all the good things out of the lunch conversation. At FireCom this year with Paul and I and some other members, and we decided that there's kind of like a lot of cool things happening in this game. But there's also it's kind of across the disciplinary nature of the work we're doing over here. A lot of us are facing similar problems. We're using similar software, similar processes, and similar systems. So I want to just get together and talk about those things and just kind of shed light into what we're using, what we're doing. So we're going to Tech Talk Tuesdays, but it's more just to share knowledge. It doesn't have to be technical. And the other thing is just further, it's kind of like sharing knowledge, kind of breaking down the silos we have. That's our plan. The idea is to kind of have it once a month or twice a month, depending on the settings we have to turn out, to also record talks. So kind of just a 1 minute update, then 1 or 2 lightning talks if we have any. Those are usually 2 to 5 minute talks. A main talk, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. And then kind of questions and discussions afterwards. And then you can also be used for like your conference preparations, demonstrations, some technology demonstrations, sharing some useful internal processes amongst teams that they use, or just about anything technical you can think of. Okay? So just some housekeeping, some updates. So I added some updates related like the software tools and software guys. So using Python 2, the end of life is January. 1st of January 2020. If you're using Ubuntu on your servers, the end of life has been extended, which is quite cool. I don't have any site updates from anyone. Anyone wants to do some site updates? I have 32 demos on site. But basically, it's to use like just updates, general updates of what's happening. That's kind of what the site's for. And then the next Tech Talk Tuesday, which is the 4th of December, I'll be giving a short talk on secrets management, how we use it in CAM, what is secrets management, and how we use software application. And we will be doing a talk on feedback on 2018 IEEE signal processing workshop. So I never to before we introduce the speaker and
So I was hoping to throw in somewhat lightning talk.
The presentation using? This is the only one I got.
no, that's the same one.
It's the same one?
This is the same one.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think we should just carry on.
Okay. Yeah.
Just introduce and we can carry on.
So I will introduce Vasant, and he will be telling us about Emacs. Oh, mode.
Okay, you can see this. So I'll be talking here about org mode and other useful things in Emacs. So just start off by introducing that at work every day, all of you are facing text. In terms of words, sentences, or commands, we are processing numbers, writing reports, taking notes, programming, or writing emails. Okay? Now, the common thread between all of these things is that it involves the interpretation and manipulation of text. And so text is a primary means of communication in all the work that we do. So my goal today is just to give you a demonstration of a tool which I found that has made my experience of working with text more efficient and also seamless as I move from each of these tasks to the next. So Emacs is a piece of software that's been around for about 40 years now, and in the state that you find it today, it does a lot more than allow you to just input and read text. And some of the things which I use it for include Direct, which allows me to access and modify files in a directory, like a terminal, but just more interactively. SSH, this is useful so that I can access files on a server using my local customized version of Emacs. So I have all the tools that I'm familiar with at my disposal. Split screen allows me to view separate files or separate regions of the same file at the same time. Multiple cursors lets me make changes in several areas of the file at a time. So it's particularly useful if programming you need to change a variable. And org mode, which is something I'll just talk to you about, demonstrate to you because it's better to show you what it does rather than talk about it. So the thing about Emacs is that it's also very customizable, and you can do all these things because you can add and remove packages to it that suit your needs. So just a couple of things to remember for the purposes of my talk. The first one is that in Emacs, the text of a file that's being displayed is known as the buffer. And the second thing is that Emacs relies on modifier keys in order to work, and these are the control and alternate keys. In a previous lifetime, I think keyboards used to have the meter key or so on code, and nowadays that meter key is replaced with alternate. So for example, some basic examples, you hit Control F, it's forward character, Control A, beginning of line, and then you can also bind things, so Control X, Control S is to save the buffer of the file. If you hit meter, which today is like alternate F is forward word, you can move to the beginning of the line in that, and also execute extended commands. So the Emacs environment consists of the editing area, which is known as the window. This small thing over here, unfortunately, the text hasn't increased. It's known as the mode line, and it gives me information about the buffer being displayed. For example, over here I can tell that this buffer is in read-only mode. This is the name of the file, 00 intro.txt. It tells me that I'm at the bottom of the file. The cursor is on line 69:0. And these are the modes that the buffer is currently using. And finally, the echo area, which is this last strip over here, it gives me feedback on the commands that I'm running. So I'll just start now with the demonstration. So first thing I want to draw attention to you is that this is just a text file, 01-org.txt, which means that you can open it up in lots of software, cross-platform, but I'm actually in org mode already. And Emacs knows how to go into org mode because of this first line over here. So Emacs reads that, it automatically dives into org mode. I've got a couple of lines here just to set up the preferences I have. And I use org mode to do lots of things, store and access, process information, as well as my notes. So the nice thing about org mode is it has this tree structure based on the start character. So if I go down to the start character and hit tab, I can see my notes. So let's say if I want to start a new note, okay, called Meerkat, okay, I can add some notes, okay, and I can just collapse that to just by hitting the tab key. And if I go up there and hit tab, it collapses everything. Hit tab, it opens everything too. I can create sub-branches. I can add as many notes as I want. And all I have to do to cycle through all of this is with the tab key. I can also jump from branch to branch just by hitting Control C N. So it jumps to the next one. So it makes moving from point to point very easy. Now, in this mode, I can also change this to a to-do list just by hitting the shift and the arrow keys. So if I've got a list of things that I want to get through the day, I can cycle through that very easily too. Okay. Now, this is the really powerful thing about org mode, which I find it's got a built-in spreadsheet capability. Sometimes if I want a simple spreadsheet, I don't want, everything that Excel has to offer, or everything that Google's spreadsheet has to offer. I just need something simple to store some information. Emacs can do that too in org mode. All you need to do is hit the pipe key, and twice, and all of a sudden, you've got a spreadsheet which you can customize to your heart's content. Add strings or numbers, it's not a problem. So let's have a look at some actual data. So more often than not, sometimes if you have some bunch of text, let's say in a CSV file or something like that, it's going to be already in a column format. So if you want to change that into a spreadsheet, you can just do that, and voila, all the information is in the spreadsheet. Okay. And you can do all the things with it that you'd expect a spreadsheet to do. Perform computations on the numbers, you can plot that data. So let's just see how you do that. Org mode ties into GNU plot, and I've got this, let's just copy the table over. And so right now I'm going to plot everything that's in column 2 over there as an independent variable. So column 2 is the date, and the dependent variables are going to be columns 3 and 5, which is that row and that row. So let's plot that. So right now you can see I'm doing stuff over here because that's my extended command interface, which I have to Emacs. I access it just by hitting alternate X and typing in commands which I know. Why isn't it popping up? Okay. Well, it's supposed to come up. Excuse me, it isn't. Anyway. The plot should appear over there. It's not coming up. And the other thing that you can do with spreadsheets typically is to do computations along the rows and the columns. So sometimes if I go for a conference, I have to come back and at the end of the day give to HR a list of my expenses and how much I spent altogether. So I made a list here of how much each thing costs, and I want to add up everything in the last column, how much everything costs. Now, you've got to give it a command based on which row and which column the information is. And you don't have to count the rows and columns. You can just toggle them in on the extreme left and on the top. It shows you which column and which row the information is stored in. So I've already just written down the command over there. So that tells me to, if you look up here, it's the same thing. So take the sum from column 2, row 3, all the way to row 2, column 3, all the way to row 6, column 3. And that's the total. There was one thing I wanted to draw your attention to, which I forgot, it's that over there. So take note of that tag. So I called it spreadsheet and I kept it between greater than or less than symbols. So just take note of that for now. And let's just close that. So sometimes I want to do more advanced computations than the spreadsheet allows. And I program in Python a lot, so language I'm familiar with. So keep in mind that this is just a text file. Okay, it's just a text file. But you can execute Python code in it, and other kinds of code to run in Octave and things like that. You just need to set it up. So if you do, it's printed out. And you can use matplotlib to plot things like that too. So you have the full power of Python at your disposal in this little simple text file. Hyperlinks. Okay. I don't think this is going to work with the website example because the plot didn't show up, but I'll try it anyway. For example, when you're reading stuff, sometimes you read some site with some technical notes, and you want to store it for ease of use. I don't like using my bookmarks feature in my web browser. It's just not my habit, so I keep it here. So let's see if it works. Yep, so there you go. So it opened up the SKA website. Now if your website URL is very long and you want to call it something short, just like SKA, this for example, just put that into square brackets, create some more square brackets next to it, call it what you like. Square bracket everything, and it works. Okay, sometimes you want to link within a file itself. This file is only 88 lines long, fewer than that, I think it's about 100 lines long. So you can see everything. When I was doing my PhD, my text file like this was almost 10,000 lines long. And it was as compact as this because it could hide everything. But sometimes I wanted to find specific pieces of information and you go back to that over and over again. So you can link to those kinds of things as well. So I told you to keep in mind the spreadsheet tag I had just now. Put that within square brackets. And there you go. You can jump to that point as well. Okay. You can also link to an external file. In order to do that, just start with the file and then so now we've opened up another file over there. It's not the file I wanted. Where is it? I apologize. Anyway, the thing I wanted to show you is that you could actually, if you have got a text file stored somewhere else, you give it the file URL, file path, you can jump straight to that file too. So I don't think that's going to work. That one worked. Okay, we'll run up over that. So I've got this file over here now, and I just wanted to get out of all mode for a minute to show you some of the things that you can do. So note that this is just a generic text file. All right, the file buffer over there has got no extension on it. So, and the reason why I created this file is to show you that you can use something called Emacs list. Emacs is written in the Lisp programming language, and so when you open up any Emacs buffer, no matter what file you're in, you have the full use of the ES programming language at your disposal. So, for example, in this text file, you wanted to take the square root of 3,600, say. So, Lisp works on this idea of parentheses. So, you give it the command or the function that you want to run, and you go that is not working for me. And I can't even blame the projector this time. Well, there you go. I can add it, but this isn't coming out. Square root. I don't know what's happening. Anyway. The other thing about this is that you can write your own custom functions. As an astronomer, I typically have to convert coordinates. And sometimes I get a list of coordinates which are in degrees, and I need to convert them into degrees, or in decimal degrees. I want to convert them into degrees, minutes, and seconds. So I wrote my own function to do that. Hopefully it will work. Well, there you go. So 48.123 degrees is 48 degrees, 7 minutes, and 22.8 seconds. So the other nice thing about Emacs is that it comes in with a built-in calculator, which is actually very powerful. You can do a lot of things which I don't use with it. And in some sense, it's also, you can even do algebraic manipulations. So in a sense, it can mimic things like Mathematica in some ways. But for this example, sometimes I get columns of numbers, and let's say I just want to get the average of the values in the third column. So I just bring my cursor down to the top left-hand corner of that column, bring it down to the bottom right-hand corner. I go rectangle, and the information is there now. The Emacs is built in calculator, and I can go vector mean. And there you go. That's the average of all those numbers. So direct. Direct makes an Emacs buffer containing the listing of a directory. So let's put a directory over here. So and I've got all these files. Okay, and they call things, but it's a little bit messy because some of these files have got my initials over here, and some of these files have got a hyphen in front of my initials. So let's say I want to change all of that to be common with an initial, with a hyphen before my initial. So I'm going to do something here called multiple cursors, which means I can just select all the files that don't have the hyphen, and I can change that and save. So now all the files have been renamed. Okay. So let's have a peek into one of these files. This is a catalog file for Meerkat. But you notice that the PI name is not listed. So let's say I want to put my name into that. Okay. And let's say I also wanted to do that for only the files with the able title. So like that, I've just selected all the files with the able name in them, and I can go search and replace PI name, and if you look at the bottom, that's where things are happening. Replace that with think. And now you can see the example on the left. All the files have got when I'm any random file, it's got my name on it. So I can do something like that.
So when you did the search, was it just pure text, or when you have search that's regular expressions as well?
Which search for the?
You searched now for a specific name, right?
That was list. I think you can do regular expressions too. Yeah. But yeah. Let's go there. So those are the kind of things that you can do with direct. Okay. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was IPython Notebook. I noticed lots of people here will use IPython Notebook, the Jupyter Notebook, which is great because it has got lots of features and it stores all information in one place. Now, my main complaint about that is that it's tied into the web browser, and while that's nice, sometimes I can't move around as quickly as I like because Emacs allows me to do that. The great thing about Emacs is that it's got a package called EIN, Emacs IPython Notebook, which allows you to just set up IPython in Emacs itself. And you can do that by so let's start the Emacs, start the server. So the server is started on my web browser. Let's go back to Emacs. It'll take a couple of seconds and then it'll load. There we go. So right now I've got the Jupyter IPython Notebook. Just set that up and let's open that. So right now I'm in IPython and I've got a cell over there. If I press Ctrl+C, it computes that. I can create a new cell over there. So let's go x equals to tab complete. And we plot. And then I can hide that. I can merge that with the previous file. I can split that. I can kill it all very easily. So that's one of the best features of this thing. So I can work a lot faster because I'm already so familiar with the commands. I don't have to rely on a web browser for that. So I think that's all I had for you all this afternoon. I apologize that some of the things didn't work because one of the things I'm pretty sure is just because of the GNU plot didn't work because of the projector, but the hyperlinks, I have to go and check my parts. But that's about it. So thank you for listening. If you've got any questions or if you want to talk to me about Emacs anytime or find out how to do something or tell me how to do something, I'll be more than happy to discuss it with you. Thank you.
I think we're
How long did it take you to get to this level of?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm moving around quickly. The thing about learning new things is that, let's say you learn one package. I've been using it for about 5 years now to answer your question. But when I'm learning one new package, it takes probably about only 2 or 3 days if you're using it regularly, and then you become very quick. And then you learn like 10 packages like that, and then you become quick throughout a lot of things. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it's very cool. So I use Vim editor, and there's always this question about Emacs versus Vim.
Yeah. Yeah, use the editor of your choice. The reason why I use this is because of all the other things that I can use it for. Particularly like SSH. If you SSH into if you go into a server, chances are you have to use Vim or Vibe and VI, and I can use that too. But if I want to jump around and do things quickly, I'm definitely a lot more competent with this, and so I'm a lot more competent with this. So I SSH in and access those files. Nadine, you have something?
Yeah, I think we like for those of you who correct, Emacs is a dinosaur of Vim. So it's like really old, but it's very powerful, especially when you are like behind like a VNC or far away and you don't want to export your X server. That's what makes it powerful. Because if you do like your IPython notebook, you wait for your X server to send you your browser, then you start typing. When I see everything just like goes in the background, and it just use a light version, the original of everything that you know about GUI actually. Like for example, the browser it's using is called Wix, which is the kind of like dinosaurs for web browsers. That's what makes it so powerful, especially having good connectivity and you just want to do things fast. That would be very powerful.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The other question was like, so you showed something about
Sorry.
So you showed that done to do and those things.
Yes.
So I know a lot of people use org mode. I think it's called GTD with that whole workflow of getting things done. So
Yes.
Did you plug it into that?
Yes, you can do a lot of things with Emacs, and particularly org mode. Now the trick, in a sense, is to find out what works for you. Because when I go and read about what people have done, a lot of the stuff is very high level, very good, but it just does not fit in with my workflow. And so I've just tailored org mode to do what I want to do. You've got to learn the basics, just get your skills up, and then after that go and find out other people who've done things and to see which works for you. But yeah, you can do things like that. And the to-do list I showed you, you can spread those to-do lists across several files and create like a master kind of catalog, and it'll search through all those files and tell you exactly what you have to do throughout the day. It's got a built-in calendar feature. One of the things which I've been trying to do, which I cannot, is to get it to talk to email, so like Gmail. And I've just been able to get it to work, but it's just too cumbersome, such that it's better for me to just use that on my web browser.
You try via Pine, because Emacs allows you to use kind of like Pine version.
Okay.
So you just have to set up your Pine to your Gmail account, and then it will just like call it into Emacs.
Yeah. So I can try doing something like that.
I just comment on that. So I think the one problem I had was I never used Emacs, started using VLI, probably like customizing. This is really powerful.
Yeah.
I just never got to that side. I'll never use Emacs. I won't use that side. But like, all I can say, look, I really love it. Well, I might actually try org mode in VI. But the thing that I think it's also like, I don't know, in our environment in software team, we use Jira, we use Google Docs, we use Gmail, and we don't use IPython notebook that much, and we're bouncing on different servers. So like, I had a problem with using a terminal. I mean, the terminal interface is much faster than using, but when you have to jump between logging something on Jira and there's no like proper API with VI and perhaps Emacs. And with like running into your Google Docs and opening up your Google Docs, you do run into like this problem. So like, when you integrate and work with things on your team mode operations, so how do you do those things? So like, for instance, if you have to log a ticket on Jira and like your other kind of things that are outside of Emacs, just to jump to the browser, right?
Yeah. That's already. Yeah. I did try to look for an API for Google Docs because I got a bit fed up going to Google Docs. But no, just use my browser.
Any other question? Okay. So I failed to introduce our speaker because he sent his introduction to my personal email and I just found out now. So let me try again. Vasant Krishnan is originally from Singapore and he obtained his doctorate from the University of Tasmania in Austria in 2016, after which he spent 2 years as a postdoc in Italy, and he just joined SKA as a junior commissioning scientist in May this year. So, thanks so much. So yeah, thanks for coming.
Are you
Hope
going
to
to
see
share?
you guys.
Are you sharing the
Recording.
like some of the notes also? Because I would love your music because I use Emacs. Obviously, there are lots of stuff that I don't know. So, Vasant?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, you can also, I'll try and get it from you. I set up a small site.
Tricks that he does that I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah,
How did you do this?
Thanks for attending, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, the next one's on the 4th.
I'll send out the email. Next one's on the 4th. Anyone is welcome to send a talk. Okay.
Oh, so
So we can just board up this community.
Wait, you call it Tuesday?
Tuesdays.
No, Tech Talk Tuesday.
Yeah, TTT.
Okay.
That
No, it sounds like
Talk Tuesdays.
it sounds like the VLA. No, like. So basically, you bring your tuna sandwich, and it's basically then we used to have that. That's okay. Like when we started the Astro Coffee Club, okay, we just used to bring our pizza, okay, and just our food, and really good about it. Chill and like talk, change things.
I think maybe we should also try to integrate something like that.
Yeah, just tell people to bring their food and for table.
Yeah,
Because I've always tried to get like non-scientific people okay, to come and talk to Astro Journal. Because Astro Journal okay, did not start as an Astro Journal. It started like an open discussion. The first speaker we had was a professor from India, and we had a talk, and he sat on the floor, and everybody sat on the floor. And then like, we were talking about correlation, convolution, and coherence without any slide. That's how it started. But I tried to get people from engineering to come and talk, but it don't come out. It was great to get like 2 guys in like now.
So at least, think about it this way. So at least now science talks. Tech talks.
Yeah, but the thing, okay, we need to break down this boundary, man.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing, okay, we have achieved so much because we have like so many like, different teams working together. Okay. I had to speak like DB, okay, from Concept, and you have to listen Jansky from DB,
Evil.
We need to break that thing, man.
We need to break the you have the interface open there.
But like the thing that you said is like there's a lot of kind of software systems that we use internally. You know, if you look at it, we all stakeholders in the particular telescope.
Yeah.
So now if you have to build like a dashboard,
Did you cut it?
I have trouble
if you have to build a dashboard, accessing data from
And Jason,
and Cam sits here and says,
the video,
"This guy
are you
is
going
not
to
actually
email
building
me the link?
we can maybe make a better interface with the data."
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I mean, I think everything starts with text.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I like it. Because I tried using Emacs, I just I use VI for like forever.
And then.
And like
think I'm sold.
I have this
I think I'm
allegiance.
sold.
This is very selling on it. I have this allegiance to VI,
Yeah.
but I'll be honest, I did betray VI recently because I got a PyCharm license, and PyCharm is insane.
Yeah.
From a development point of view,
Yeah.
the integration with Docker, Vagrant,
Oh yeah.
and your virtual.
Yeah. Have you tried the IntelliJ?
Yeah, no, PyCharm is IntelliJ.
Oh, okay.
So I got a bought one, a paid one.
Oh, I see.
It's
Okay.
really good.
Yeah, I
Those
just
things and use VS Code.
Eh? No, VS Code, no, VS Code doesn't good.
I tried to use it. It's so complicated, as Rasa said. Let's go back to our email.
No, but she's like, I've got a problem, like I was saying, with the one in Cam.
And then it's irritating to then.
It's cool if you're on your own, like I said.
Yes,
If you're on your
yeah,
own,
yeah.
it's brilliant, but like when you're working, you like,
Team and all these things. Yeah.
and you need something to use, reviews